Cipher Mining will be a newly formed US-based Bitcoin mining company. It's going to go public on the NASDAQ via a SPAC business combination with GoodWorks Acquisition Corp, ticker GWAC or GWAC. Full disclosure, I do have a position in GoodWorks. I first talked about this blank check company in my December 3 SPACs to buy now video when the common stock was still trading at $9.80 and the warrants were still trading at 73 cents. Congratulations if you got in on that trade, as you'd be up 17% on the stock and 252% on the warrants as of Tuesday's close. The business combination is expected to be completed in Q2 of this year, and the ticker is expected to change to CIFR. In this video, I'm first going to give a high-level overview of Cipher Mining. Second, I'm going to go over my bull case for the stock. Third, I'm going to go over my bear case. Fourth, I'm going to go over my game plan for the common stock and the warrants. All this right after. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Learn to invest like a wolf at your own risk. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Wolves of Investing. My name is Donnie Nguyen and I'm the founder of Wolves of Investing. If you're new, my channel is primarily about investing in the stock market. If you want to learn how to achieve financial freedom through investing, be sure to click on that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't yet. And please remember to drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, as it truly helps out the channel. So without further ado, let's get right into it. What is Cipher Mining? Cipher is a newly created US-based Bitcoin mining company. Like many SPAC targets, it is very early stage. It's pre-revenue. It currently does not have any Bitcoin mining operations or even any data centers up yet. Using the proceeds from this business combination, it plans to build out 4 data centers by the end of 2022, 3 in Texas and 1 in Ohio, for a build out of 445 megawatt capacity and approximately 14.8 exahash per second of hash rate. To put that into perspective, one of its main competitors, Marathon Patent Group, or MARA, is projecting approximately 10 exahash per second by the end of 2022. Cipher expects the first 2 of those data centers to come online before the end of this year. After these 4 initial sites, they expect to fund 100 megawatts of sites per year from their operations, with a 5-year plan to build out 745 megawatts of capacity, or approximately 39.8 exahash per second. To put these numbers into perspective, this slide compares Cipher Mining's build-out projections in megawatts to that of its competitors. As you can see from their projection, they expect to have the highest hash rate compared to Argo, Mara, Bitfarms, Riot, Hive, Hut 8, and MGT Capital. They forecast that these data centers will produce a hash rate that will equal 9% of the global Bitcoin network hash rate. And their goal is to become the largest and most cost-efficient Bitcoin miner in the United States and one of the largest in the world. Remember that this is their own projection, and I always take these projections with a grain of salt. How is Cipher Mining trying to differentiate itself from its competitors other than trying to become the biggest Bitcoin mining operation in North America? First, Cipher expects to have the lowest electricity costs relative to its peers, with $27 per megawatt hour. Its peer that comes the closest is Mara, with $28 per megawatt hour, with Bitfarms and Hive coming in next at $40 per megawatt hour. They expect to achieve these low electricity costs from their low-cost power purchase agreements. I'm not sure how strong these power purchase agreements are, so that's something to keep an eye out for in the future. especially with 3 of those planned sites being in Texas, and there being an ongoing power crisis in Texas that could be a risk. But if they do achieve this low electricity cost goal, then this will be a significant advantage. Second, they are also differentiating themselves by using chips, servers, and other Bitcoin mining equipment from Bitfury, which is based in the Netherlands. From what I understand, its competitors primarily use Bitcoin mining equipment from Chinese-based companies, such as Bitmain. The reason that this is an important differentiator is that many people, including me, believe that in order to have a fully decentralized Bitcoin, there needs to be geographic diversity as well as mining equipment diversity. If all of the Bitcoin is mined in China on Chinese-based mining equipment, that kind of defeats the purpose of a fully decentralized network. Now, I'm not sure if Cypher will also be using Chinese Bitcoin mining equipment to diversify their supply chain, but I do think that using non-Chinese based equipment could be perceived as an attractive trait by institutional investors. Third, after listening to the investor conference call, it appears that Cypher is trying to emphasize that their Bitcoin is made in the USA. On the call, Cypher Mining CEO Tyler Page said, "If you move forward in our plans, we will be one of the largest producers of Bitcoin in the world. Those Bitcoins will be freshly minted and never been transacted, and they will have never left the US regulatory system." I think that what they're trying to get at is that they can offer assurances that their Bitcoin has never been involved in any criminal activity like money laundering or terrorism. Now, I haven't done any other DD on any of the other Bitcoin miners, but this is the first I've heard of this kind of importance being put on the Bitcoin having never left the US regulatory system. So to me, that mindset and culture appears to differentiate them from their competitors. So what about its partnership with Bitfury? GoodWorks co-chairman Doug Wirth, who is also chairman at Standard Power, which provides hosting services to Bitcoin miners in Ohio, was impressed by Bitfury. They began discussions which culminated in this deal. Bitfury will be a PIPE investor and will be heavily involved in the build-out of the 4 data centers. From site development, oversight, and management, to guaranteed US access to Bitfury ASICs chips optimized for Bitcoin mining. Bitfury has 7 generations of ASICs with a 5nm chip expected this year. Now, you may be wondering, how will the global chip shortage affect delivery of these ASICs? According to the investor presentation, Bitfury is expected to be able to utilize up to 10,000 wafers, equivalent to 200 megawatts capacity per month at Samsung Foundry due to long-term relationship as a tier 1 partner, advanced planning, and optimized supply chain. Even though they state this in the investor presentation, I still view the global chip shortage as a high risk, as we can't know for sure if Samsung will really be able to manufacture their chips in a timely manner. So in my opinion, this may delay the build out of their first sites, or they may be forced to use the older generation chips, which will not be as efficient in mining Bitcoin. One positive is that according to this slide, Bitfury has a track record of complex and large-scale data center development from 2013 to 2020. So now let's take a look at the projected financials. Assuming BTC's price ranges from $25,000 to $50,000, Cypher is projecting revenues of $1.009 billion in 2025, gross profit of $787 million, and to be EBITDA positive, net income positive, and free cash flow positive in 2022. Even if BTC falls to $12,500, they are still projecting that they will be profitable. Remember that these are just projections. We won't really know how all this plays out until they get their data centers online and start reporting the results from those operations. So now let's take a look at the transaction summary. At $10 per share, the implied market cap is $2.501 billion. Shares outstanding is just market cap divided by price, so 250.1 million shares outstanding. GoodWorks will receive 1 of 7 board seats. I presume it will be Doug Wirth, given his relationship with Bitfury. Existing shareholders will be subject to a 2-year lockup. Cypher will be debt-free and have $501 million on the balance sheet. PIPE investors will own 14.9%. GWAC SPAC will own 6%. SPAC founder shares will own 1.5%. Employee stock ownership plan will own 7.2%. Private placement will own 0.1%. Cypher existing shareholders will own 70.3%. All right, so that was my high-level overview of Cypher Mining and the business combination. I didn't cover all of the investor presentation, so I encourage you to take a look at it. And I'll leave a link to the investor presentation in the video description. So what is my bull case for the stock? I'm going to use the revenue projected in the investor presentation for Bitcoin being $100,000 in 2025. That projected revenue is $1.788 billion. To give myself a margin of safety, I'm going to take off 25% to get $1.341 billion. Two comparable companies are Mara and Riot. In September 2020, Riot had a PS ratio of 10.32 and Mara had a PS ratio of 12.91. So I'm going to be a little conservative and project a 10x PS ratio. 10 times 1.341 billion is a market cap of $13.41 billion. Divided by 250.1 million shares outstanding gives a stock price of $53.62. Tuesday's closing stock price was $11.52 for a return of 365% in my bull case. So what is my bear case? First, Bitcoin may crash again to $20,000 per Bitcoin. Even though the investor presentation says that they will still be profitable if BTC falls all the way down to $12,500, I still have a very hard time believing it. Second, Cypher's electricity costs and hash rates could come in way worse than their projections. In my bear case, I think that the stock could tank big time to well below $5 per share. So I do view this as a very high risk, potentially high reward investment. So what is my game plan? Given that I'm already up 148% on my GWAC warrants and 15% on the common stock, the safe thing to do would be to take my profits, especially since growth stocks represented by the QQQ are hovering around correction territory. But as you may know from my Bitcoin price prediction video I made last year when BTC was hovering around $18,000, I am still fairly bullish on Bitcoin. Because I only have such a small position in GWAC and I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, I plan to just hold out for now for additional gains on both the common stock and the warrants. At this time, I'm not interested in selling the commons for anything less than $20 or the warrants for anything less than $5, whether it takes 3 months or 3 years to get there. For now, I also don't plan on increasing my holdings because I already have a lot of exposure to Bitcoin in my overall portfolio. If there's a crash and I can pick up the commons for less than $6 post-merger, or the warrants for less than 50 cents or so, then I may consider increasing my position in Cypher Mining. Of course, with the warrants, I always have to be alert and make sure that I don't get caught up in an early expiration. And if you want to know more about SPAC warrants, be sure to check out my SPAC warrant basics video, where I answer a lot of questions that viewers have asked me about warrants. All right, so just a few announcements. First, the Wolves of Investing Discord is growing and is my favorite place to discuss SPACs and other stocks with other members of the community. We have over 400 members, and if you're interested in joining, it's completely free. I'll leave a link in the video description. Second, if you want to know exactly what I'm trading in my Fidelity All SPAC portfolio, check out my Patreon. For $5 a month, you get all of my buy and sell alerts from that portfolio. There's also access to my private Patreon Discord. If you want additional insights into that portfolio and some of my other long-term portfolios, there's also a higher tier available for that. And if you want to become a super alpha OG and get a shout out on one of my videos every month, I also have a tier for that. So be sure to check out my Patreon if you're interested. A link is in the video description. And a big thank you to the amazing patrons that have already joined. All right, so let me know what you think about Cypher mining and what other SPACs you're watching. Drop me a line in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on this video before leaving. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.